So over to you, Roger.
Thanks very much. So it's perhaps appropriate at the end of the day that we move towards the end of the people who actually use the stuff that we ship to them. Relatively few of whom give a fuck about what gas and electricity gets to them or how it gets to them, as long as it does when they need it and a price that's affordable. I'm going to try and expand on this attractiveness of the retail market, specifically from a domestic angle. That's my experience. So this is me, I'm Roger Stoney. I manage the meter operator Smart Mop, part of the Utilita Group. I've been asked to speak about new entrants' perspective on the gas market, so let's tell you a little about me and a bit about Utilita so that you can understand the perspective I'm bringing to the presentation. I began my career with Yorkshire Electricity many moons ago now, becoming Npower, then RWE Npower, within which I set up the gas metering operation to support the developing Npower gas business as they entered the retail market. It's noted that most of the big energy suppliers now have got dual fuel in-house meter operated businesses, but more about that in a minute. So I went from Npower off to OnStream, the competitive part of National Grid, and I established their electricity meter operator unit in support of the British Gas contract, bringing all their British Gas's meter operation businesses into the competitive market. And then finally I took the chance to put both of them together, establishing Smart Mop in support of Utilita, because of their dissatisfaction with the provision of meter operator services from other meter operators, and who perhaps understandably saw more important masters with their parent supply businesses. So that's bringing both gas and electricity together in a single business. So a little about Utilita. Press two buttons at once. By no means new, I've been going since 2008 in its current guise. Utilita remain a very small supplier even in comparison to other small suppliers. This has been deliberate because we've been caught out previously with high energy price volatility in previous incarnations. Utilita has set a path for controlled and sustainable organic growth. Growth within this market is not just about obtaining profitable customers, but particularly in the gas end, having sufficient cash to sustain the business through the summer periods where domestic gas businesses are traditionally and significantly loss-making. It's always interesting meeting on one side of the table when I talk to the guys from Utilita. They sit there praying for cold weather to increase this consumption of gas, and I'm from the metering end praying for mild weather because otherwise I have to deal with huge numbers of faults. So it's always an interesting meeting. So in addition to the loss-making summer period, the utility business model relies on the low cost to serve, and we achieve this through the use of smart meters. Clearly, this involves fitting smart meters in every customer's home that you take on, and this requires large amounts of low-cost, long-term funding to be viable, set against a background of a commitment from the customer of just 28 days. Hard work. Utilita as a business expects to grow, as most businesses do, and my business, Smart Mop, will grow with it. Utilita is a new entrant? Well, perhaps not, but definitely a new phase in the business. So about the marketplace that Utilita services, and why we can concentrate on such a small market. Well, there's plenty of scope to grow from where we currently are, because even us 2% of the market share of the that section of the business is still a big market for us to service. While this customer segment is very energy aware, they do unfortunately have to pay more for their power, principally due to the way they pay. Cash at an outlet, which is typically how they buy, is still a very expensive part of the overall cost structure. With some of these customers buying every couple of days, they find a pound or two down the back of the sofa and off they go to their PayPoint outlet or post office to buy it. Currently the technologies don't support a mechanism to give them an incentive to buy more if they are to buy more and therefore get more power. They still have to pay this. They get the same transaction fee, whatever the amount. So why is this market good for my company as fitting meters? Well, typically it's concentrated in large conurbations. Typically the customers are in. Just don't expect to turn the power off during Jeremy Kyle. So we can attempt to achieve good work densities. This factor allows us to provide the smart products we do ahead of the market in an efficient manner. But it currently does mean you can't have my products in Lerwick. Just to give you an idea of my company in the market, when you go into a customer's house and are told to mind the dog, don't make the assumption that the dog's alive. But this market could perhaps and could and perhaps will change soon, rapidly. That's true, that one. No word of a lie. Right, where have I got to now? There we go. Okay, I just wanted to show you, although I'm sure most of you are aware, this is a very simplistic picture of a smart metering system. And what's not shown here are the products that we currently provide of water and heat, both of which can be provided on a pay-as-you-go basis according to the rules by which you're playing. The picture also doesn't show the additional complexity that's introduced where separate suppliers are used for each. Adds it makes it even more complicated. But this should be solved by the DCC and interoperability standards. Well, we shall see. I'm not holding my breath on that one. But also does not show things that go on outside the customer's home either. So this all sounds very new and exciting, but although exciting for me at least, it's not very new. What is new is the government's desire to achieve reductions in energy use through the installation of smart metering in every home. I don't know if any of you have been sent one of those energy efficiency monitors. Any of you been sent one of those by your supplier? Well, I have to say mine lasted for about a week until my wife decided to put it in the kitchen drawer, as she described it. What's your work crap doing and insulting my beautiful minimalistic kitchen? Well, can't argue with the wife, can you? Personally, I don't see smart metering is going to deliver any noticeable, sustainable reduction in energy use in the home. However, in combination with other measures, there may be some benefit. The question is whether these other measures could be delivered without the massive investment that's going to be required for smart metering. And this is coming from a company that fits smart meters. Who knows? Okay. So from a supplier's perspective, smart, and especially smart prepayment, reduces the credit risk and provides much better control and predictability of costs. However, what it also does at present is allow a small supplier who is leading the market to develop a unique selling point through tailoring its flexible product to its niche market. From this perspective, Smart delivers the key factors for a successful new entrant: secure and predictable cash flow in and out through, in theory, accurate measurement of purchase of energy we sold. What we've seen, though, in the past 2 years or more is stagnation in the market caused by indecision relating to smart metering implementation. Our view would have been to let the market deliver in a free market, allowing companies who wanted to use innovation rather than price the marketing lead to grow, but I would say that, I suppose. But the government has seen the potential of smart metering to deliver customer behaviour change through reduced energy usage. We don't agree with that, as we've seen very little change in our customer base, although our customers are already very energy aware. However, we are now about to embark on the long-awaited SMART programme. The programme, during this period of uncertainty and continue today, is, rather than encouraging innovation, putting the brakes on implementation of smart metering, as well as bringing a standardisation that, unless we are careful, will limit the innovation that we can bring to the market. For instance, we currently have integrated heat and water metering within our smart range that I described earlier. However, these products will not be allowed to continue within the electricity and gas only smart metering programme. This doesn't feel like progress. I just wanted to touch on a key factor that currently causes further unpredictability in the gas domestic market. Presently, there's no connection between the readings taken from a domestic gas customer and the amount we have to pay for their gas. This came as a bit of a revelation to me, as you know, I'm fitting meters, what they're being read for. I don't know. So non-daily metered and therefore domestic customers are allocated a predicted amount of gas. This is, I'm sure, is not news to any of you guys. It's certainly news to me. This is okay if your portfolio of customers is large and perhaps matches the overall typical customer profile. Utilities customers are perhaps not typical, using less than the average. Utilities customers have smart meters fitted, so we know exactly how much gas they're using, and therefore we know the allocation of gas to utility is in excess of its consumption, but there's nothing we can do about it except through lag. There are customers in the market who have an allocation level which is significantly less than their actual usage, and some which have an over-allocation. There are limited opportunities to update these allocations, so this introduces risk and unpredictability for the small business, which is not good news. Some customers that we get have an allocation of 1, some of them have 75,000, to the point where you start not taking on customers that have the wrong AQ. So the panacea to resolve all this is so-called Project Nexus. It's been 3 years in delivering. And its delivery is key to allowing smart metering to deliver the stability and predictability that we as a small business need with regard to gas purchase costs. I promise you this is the last one. Here we go. So the general adoption of smart technology and the potential opportunity for new entrants to have smart products installed nationally at no additional premium compared to the current market players gives new entrants perhaps an easier opportunity to enter the market with more of the historical variables fixed. But as the smart meter installations and the energy products delivered through them become commodities with no product differentiation available, what's left for new entrants to differentiate? Interesting, at the moment I get a lot more inquiries from new I&C suppliers than I do from domestic. This, of course, will be due to the difficulties that they perceive in the domestic market being more than the return that you get unless you get to massive volume. But there may be further opportunities, although we are being asked to reduce the consumption of energies in our home for the uses we currently know, like running your telly or your freezer. The domestic market may grow through local generation, micro CHP, and the charging of electric cars. These new opportunities, perhaps not in the market that utility services, should mean that a small share of a static, if not larger pie, of domestic energy retail will still be attractive new investment. But then I was thinking about this, and what does actually a successful competitive market look like? I'm sure Ashton will go on to talk about this. But is customer switching a good measure of effective competition, or actually is it completely the reverse? Are we going to start to see the likes of the insurance market, many front brands but relatively few actual retail companies? Regulation to make tariffs more transparent, but which then mean niche products like utilities look poor against the benchmark level. What I mean by that is if you don't know your usage limits or the amount of product that you use, and you go onto USwitch and you say, I don't know, it uses a particular set of standards, standard consumption. If like our product is pitched at low consumers, we start to look expensive compared to other companies at that level. So the other thing is can you really differentiate on service if you rarely actually service the customer? In fact, typically it's only when the customer has a problem with the commodity service you're providing that you get the opportunity to show your excellent service. You can conclude that an effective competitive market is therefore only attractive to new entrants who are able to bring something new to the market. In order for this to be possible, we need to ensure that the rules we have to operate do not stifle any innovation. That's it.